Hi everyone, and welcome to Nikki and Stitches and the Nikki and Stitches Craft Academy's YouTube channel. Today we are starting the first in our new playlist of videos that are focused on helping all of you work with specific designs inside the Silhouette online store. So the deal is, you find the file that you love and you open it and you're having trouble manipulating it to work with the project you have in mind for it. So you send me the design number and I show you exactly what it is you're looking to do so that you can then do it yourself. So for those of you who love this file, this one was sent in and people are requesting some help with it. In the Silhouette online store, it is number 55388. And it comes through like this with two pieces. So we're going to manipulate these a little bit. The person who sent this in would like to actually cut it in three main pieces: the nursing, the is a work of, and then the heart. So we're going to cut this. We're going to use three different colors to represent those three different pieces. And she would also like to add some registration marks in here so that when she cuts it and then goes to layer the pieces together, they are perfectly placed. So we're going to work our way through all of that. So like I said, the file comes through like this. You get two pieces. So we're going to ungroup them. So now they are actually two separate pieces. And sometimes these come through like this because the pieces are different. If you put these on top of each other, you can see these are actually exactly the same. So we don't need two of them. I am going to just move this one off to the side though, because sometimes it is kind of nice to keep one together off to the side just to use as a reference. So we're not really going to use this one. You can delete it if you want, but like I said, I kind of like to keep it there to make sure the one that I'm working with is going to actually end up the way it's supposed to look over here. So now we want to work on this piece. And the question comes here because this is obviously more than one piece, but if you look down at the bottom left corner of your screen, you cannot ungroup it. So people start to get a little confused here. So the first thing I'm going to do to break it into smaller pieces is go up to Object and then Release Compound Path. And I do this and it's going to break every single piece, every single thing into little pieces. And you'll see when I click the button exactly how that works. So there are a ton of pieces. And what's interesting though is like everything. So instead of this being, say, an R, it's like the outline of the R and then also that little part inside the R. So it really is, when you release the compound path, going to break it into as many pieces as it possibly can. So, you know, when you click and you drag and you see, oh my goodness, now I have tons and tons of sizing boxes everywhere. That's okay. That's what releasing the compound path does. And now it's our job to kind of put these pieces back together in the groups that we want. So like we said at the beginning of the lesson, or of this video, sorry, this person wanted the nursing group together, the is a work of, and then the heart. So we're going to do that. Let's click and drag to select all the pieces of the nursing, just like that. And we're going to click Group Selected Shapes in the bottom left corner. We're going to click on all of the pieces of the heart, which it looks like we have too many, I know. So we picked up a little bit of the work there. So if you hold down the Shift key on your keyboard, you can click on those to deselect them. So I'm going to deselect, oops, it's a little tricky, all of these pieces up here that I didn't actually want in the first place. And let's see, you can tell by these green dots that I have too many. So this might be confusing to actually see, okay, when I click on these, am I deselecting or am I reselecting? So let's do this. Here's a trick. We're going to click in a blank space and let's zoom in. And this might make it a little bit easier to see exactly what we're selecting. So I'm going to try once again. Let's click and drag, and I can see so far I'm doing okay. And right here I'm starting to pick up a little too much, but this time, as you can see, it's a lot easier to see those pieces that we don't really want. So once again, I'm going to hold down my Shift key, and I'm going to click on all of these pieces up here of the text up above it to deselect everything. And now it looks like I just have all the pieces of the word heart. So now I can click to group them together. And so now to try and click and drag in here inside to get the is a work of, let's see how tricky that's going to be. Not that bad, actually. There is all the pieces of the is a work of, and we'll group them together. And we know that we did this correctly. Let me zoom out. Remember, we were trying to break this into 3 pieces. So I should click and drag and have 3 sizing boxes, which I do. So that means that I correctly grouped it together into those 3 chunks. If I had an extra sizing box, you know, somewhere floating around down here, that would mean I had missed grouping that together with whatever piece it belonged to. Okay, so we have this grouped together. And it might make a little bit more sense too. It might be easier to follow from here on out if we fill it with color. So this is not necessary at all, but it does kind of help everyone see how the pieces fit. I'm going to make the nursing, I'm going to randomly pick colors here, a dark gray. I'm going to make the is a work of a black, and the heart a pink. And so right away people are saying, well, we get that you filled it with color to make this a little bit easier to see, but we have some wonky things happening here. And the reason is because our text is not thinking of this, or our software, sorry, is not thinking of this as a compound path. So this is a really easy fix. Whenever this happens, if you have them grouped together the way that you want, but they're not filling correctly, this is a good, nice little trick to try. Click on it. And then in the top left corner, click Object and Make Compound Path. It's a little bit different than just grouping the pieces together. And now they will fill correctly. So we're going to click on this one. And again, make it a compound path so that the letters fill correctly. And there we go. Now this looks exactly how we want it to look. So now we're going to add in those registration marks. And many of you know who follow Nikki and Stitches. Many of you know I just like to use the letter X. So that's good. But these X's are really big. If you look over here in the text style sidebar, it's at 72, which is huge. So let's just adjust the size of this a little bit. Click in a blank space, then click back on it. And when I do my registration marks, I usually use either a 24 size or a 36, which looks kind of small here, but when it cuts, it's really not that small. Let's go 36. I think that'll work pretty well. So, you know, we want to tuck these in so that they are easy to use, but not in the way when we're trying to put everything together. So I'm going to move one here, just like that. And I'm going to make a copy of this really quick. Edit copy and edit paste. And I'm going to put another one here. And I'm just going to take a minute now to think and make sure that I like that placement. I believe that will work for all of our pieces. I'm not a huge fan of how that will work for the heart. I think this is kind of maybe going to get in the way a little bit, but I feel like we can make it work. Yeah, this will go. This will be good. So if we are cutting this in 3 pieces, then we want to separate this into 3 pieces. So I'm going to zoom out so you can see a little bit better. And I like to always make copies and work from there because, like I said in the beginning, I have this over here kind of like as a reference. Same thing. I like to keep one as a reference. So we're going to kind of do the same thing here. So to make the first piece we're going to cut is the nursing. So click on that. Hold down the Shift key on your keyboard and click on both of your registration marks. And then we're going to make a copy and paste it. And it's kind of tricky to see, but before you do anything else, don't touch anything. We don't want to accidentally move any of these pieces because then our registration marks won't line up. Real quick, click Group Selected Shapes. Move that off to the side. This is what you are going to cut from your gray vinyl. And go back, and now we'll do the black. So we'll click on the black text, and then again, hold down your Shift key. Click on each of your registration marks. Go up top, make a copy, and paste them. So you get one. There you go, an extra one. And don't touch anything. Group them together quickly so that nothing scoots out of the way by accident or scoots into the wrong spot and our registration marks won't line up. This is what we're going to cut out of the black. And we'll do this one last time. Click on your heart. And then each of the registration marks, make a copy and paste it. Group it together. And then this, let me drag it over so you can see, is exactly what we're going to cut out of our pink pink vinyl. And so this way, once we have it cut and weeded, we can use our registration marks. You can watch and see how cool this is when I layer them on top of each other to if I'm like, putting my vinyl in its place. You can see I use those registration marks, line them back up. And this is exactly like this one over here that we started with. So I hope that helps. I hope that helps you figure out how to break up the pieces. It's a nice little trick for how to use the release compound path if you can ungroup things, and then how to use the make a compound path to help you fill them correctly so that those openings in your letters of your text really are open and not filled with color. So I hope that helps. And again, if you need some help with this design, or if you love this design and you want to pick it up for yourself, it is number 55388 in the Silhouette online store. And if you also yourself have a design that you need help manipulating or getting ready to cut, just send the number my way and I'd love to make a video for you too. Thanks. Bye.